Welcome back to Perfectly Claire. I'm where we explore the mystical, the intuitive, and everything in between. I'm Doug Taylor, and today our producer and co-host Angie is joining us.
This time, it's a little different. We'll be reflecting on an incredible first season, and this podcast has truly been a celebration of the wisdom that comes from community, and a reminder that spirituality doesn't have to look one way to be real, powerful, and really healing.
And we've had the honor of sitting with some truly gifted spiritual practitioners, exploring everything from tea leaves to sound healing, from palmistry to mediumship.
So today, we're going to pull back the curtain a little bit and share what surprised us, moved us, and honestly lit us up along the way. Think of this episode as a warm cup of something special, meant to hold space for reflection, celebration, and looking ahead.
And whether you've been with us since episode 1 or just found us recently, we're so glad you're here.
So let's dive in. Wow, Dad, what a season.
Yes, it was truly, truly incredibly amazing. There's not enough adjectives to describe it. It went far beyond our wildest expectations. I won't say dreams because that was in one of our other previous episodes, but really it went well beyond our wildest expectations.
No, and I think looking back to when you first chatted with me about this idea of a podcast like this, and now it's been brought to fruition, and we've had a great first season, and we've met so many incredible people, and I've co-hosted a few more episodes than we intended on.
The program, the podcast, the content, the program evolved, it changed all the time. And it's good because we weren't tied to a certain script.
Yeah, no specific format.
No.
Yeah.
So what episode shifted something in you personally, Angie?
Oh, there's been a few, actually. I loved every single guest that was on. And, whether I was actually co-hosting with you or I was just in the background, I have had a chance to listen to these very candid conversations before, during, and after each episode. I
think it's been uplifting spiritually, emotionally, physically. It's just been a roller coaster of knowledge, of wealth knowledge, talking to all the people that we've had on this show.
I think our round table episode actually really shifted the most.
Yes. Yeah.
Having a chance to, I don't do the fair circuit or anything like that. So I don't always get a chance to interact with other readers, mediums, clairvoyants, practitioners. I don't really have a chance to interact with them as frequently or as openly. I think intuitives are drawn naturally to intuitives. So every now and then I do get drawn towards someone and we have a nice little chat, but it was really wonderful to connect with and share experiences and similar experiences, overlapping experiences or diverse ones, with other people that, have either a similar story. I know Sandy and I have kind of similar with growing up with more of a familial tie towards, different gifts, or understanding that Daniel had a bit of a later in life, opening to intuition and reading. But I think that episode really gave me a chance to appreciate that there's a tie, between people.
Definitely. But was there any specific episode that you could put your finger on, or do you think the round table was it?
I think the round table was great for that. But also, actually, I really felt drawn towards the episode with Claudia from Crystals.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The fact that we talked about how crystals choose you,
Yeah.
and that some crystals aren't meant for you. And,
Yes.
and Claudia pointed that out. And the fact that if a bracelet breaks, that it's done its job as far as cleansing is concerned. So yeah, that Claudia was amazing.
It really like reinvigorated me in terms of I've always been drawn towards crystals, but I had taken a bit of a break from them a bit. I just didn't feel that pull as much, and it really kind of put something back inside
into
me.
it. Yeah, sparked a little fire. Yeah, good.
Do you have a moment or maybe a specific section, quote, from one of the episodes that really stayed with you?
You know, there was so many. I will say that Daniel at the round table made a very good quote, is that we're here to take them home.
Yeah.
And that was very, very, I don't know the word for
it's powerful.
Yeah. And, you know, we've looked at that as a quote. And that to me, if anyone stood out, they all did, but that just drew me in.
Yeah, that was incredible. Any topics maybe that surprised you or challenged your own, I don't know, maybe spiritual assumptions?
You know, I said earlier, you know, I learned so much from this, and I know you did.
Yes.
I think it helped you an awful lot.
Oh, yeah.
You really jumped in with both feet on this. But as far as any topic surprising me? I think Susan. Actually,
I was going to say, I think Susan really surprised
Angelic
me.
Synergy.
Yeah.
We had her on, I guess 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, a few, yeah.
And she was something that sort of caught me off guard. I mean, we've had people, as we mentioned, with tarot, yourself, smudging with yourself, mediumship, palmistry, astrology, sound healing was another surprise.
Yeah.
I felt that Daniel carried that particular episode and was very, very strong, and interested me and a lot of our listeners actually over it.
Yeah, no, completely. I had such a great time exploring the episode with Susan. You know, I didn't know a whole ton about angels. I had a little bit of, you know, I've seen and experienced, but it was really, really great to have that insight. And also with the sound healing, exactly. Like the pieces, the modalities and practices that I don't have as much experience with have been really incredible to learn about. There's been some interesting pieces as well this season where you can start to see some kind of overlap and also some through lines across guests with intuition, connection, wisdom, senses.
Yeah, and again, I hate to keep going back to the round table, but we talked around the round table, and everybody had a lot of the same thoughts, answers, opinions. It was, to me, that was something. I mean, and I don't want to leave anybody out, and it's hard. Maybe next year be bigger, but just starting the ball rolling with Jackie was a springboard, and we ended up getting our push, I guess, into the season, and it changed. It changed once we got rolling. So
yeah, I know, and it's funny because these were supposed to be much shorter episodes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The intention was really like 20 minutes. Right? Just bite-sized.
Pop in and pop out. Yeah.
Yeah. Bite-sized piece of information that you can digest really easily. And what has resulted has been these incredibly in-depth and raw and authentic conversations with people that really just take you by surprise sometimes.
Exactly.
And I know I've had, well, obviously we just did our Q&A. We had a lot of insight from listeners this season, which was great. For right now, we're still a very small podcast, but we've had some great connection and engagement, whether that's through the website or through Instagram. That's been great. We've had so many really wonderful DMs, but I've also had people in my life and our lives that listen to the podcast that have had great feedback or had really cool kind of comments to make from certain episodes. So what maybe has stood out to you with what they have found meaningful? Has there been like something that's overlapped or something maybe someone said that really stood out to you?
As far as one of our guests are concerned?
In terms of the podcast.
Oh, in terms of the podcast? Yeah. I've had good feedback from it. I don't do numbers. You're the genius behind this also. You would have a better take on our listeners and that sort of thing. But I know that a lot of our guests have been pushing our podcast because they are very engaged and active in psychic fairs, pop-up markets, their own private readings, those sort of things. So they are getting our podcasts and our reputation, I guess, out there. And everybody that we have had on, once we've got them on, they have enjoyed it. I believe they've enjoyed it because they've communicated that to us.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate to have maintained great relationships with anyone that's been on the show, which is just fantastic. And been able to meet lots of them in person and connect that way as well. I found that I had some really cool feedback from a few friends where they had said that they found just this validation to trust their intuition. A lot of people might say that, it's woo-woo, it's whatever, but they've almost been given permission to trust their intuition, to trust their instincts, to trust what they're feeling. And it's opened them up to other senses because of it.
Yes. I've heard a lot of that as well. And, the funny thing about it, and I don't know if I'm getting ahead of any of our other questions here, but I was sort of amazed, I guess is the word, that you and I were very active with this at a very young age.
Yes. Yeah.
And if I look at Sandy and Claudia, their origins were very deeply rooted in family, is going back. And then I look and I talk with some of our guests, and they really never got active or involved with their own abilities till later.
Much later.
And in some cases, late in life. However, to me, it just proves our point. We all have it in us.
Yeah.
And we all have the ability. And sometimes it's taken later in life for them to discover it and channel it, embrace it, and work with it. So those are the things that come to my mind.
Yeah. Now, I was thinking about this because I was at a get together and I was talking to someone about the podcast, and they had asked, what episode should I listen to first? Because there was already several that were out. And, I thought to myself, like, oh man, well, this one's great, or that one's great, or this one's really, well, what are you into? I'm trying to figure it out. But I think maybe at least my opinion would be to really truly start with episode 1. Get a sense of the clear senses.
Get a base of it.
Yeah,
yes.
Get some base knowledge.
I think that was a good episode to get the show, the podcast launched.
Yeah.
Launched is a good word. Yeah. And if you had to pick any one episode, what would it be?
to start with? That really...
No, that you really felt was probably one of our best ones. Is there such a thing that we can say on the air? Or?
Yeah, no, I would say, I really liked, I think I'm biased, but I really liked the round table. Obviously, we just had a chance to have 5 of us chatting about all these overlapping areas. But I really loved our episode on palmistry because we got to dive a little bit deeper into your story.
I'm going to be biased for a bit here, and of the ones that I always listen to them. You always send them to me to audit them after you've edited them, and then I get a chance to listen to them a couple of times. But I had to do a double take, and again, I don't want to break my arm, pat myself in the back, because that's the furthest thing from my mind because of all the different, wonderful people we've had on. But I just listened again recently, but the episode and a little drum roll here on mediumship. I thought it was really done episode. Well. Yeah. Now, with that said, is that the best one? Yeah. I'll say yes, but I can't get over how incredible the round table was.
Yes. Yeah.
And as far as learning different things, Susan was a big one, and Claudia was very candid.
Yes, I loved her candor. I loved her her kind of vivaciousness and her energy. Her energy was just very much aligned with my type of energy as well, which I was very drawn to. But it is funny because some of these episodes where I really enjoyed doing the smudging episode.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Where, I felt like I was talking a lot, obviously, because I am the one that smudges. But you and I get to have these fantastic conversations sometimes that we just happen to capture with a microphone and onto the computer. But it feels, we sit in the dining room and we have a chat. And normally we both have a cup of tea and a cup of coffee. And we get to explore these things in a very natural, authentic way. And it's very meaningful and it's very enjoyable. So when we get to have those episodes of just the two of us, like today, I really enjoy those. So those have a special place in my heart, I guess. Now, with that being said, I have been privy to some really great behind the scenes moments because, like I mentioned previously, if I'm not co-hosting, normally I'm at least assisting and facilitating.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
you're the genius. I tell everybody. I have to ask my producer.
So I get to have a little bit of insight before the guests step on, see the nerves, see the excitement, and then witness a really incredible conversation.
Yes.
And then the minute the recording ends and the debrief happens and the excitement there and, the immediate initial response there, it's really cool to see people that are experts in their field, really, and, what they have to say about, a 30, 40-minute conversation.
And it's nice to get the seal of approval from them that, we are on the right track and that they think what we're doing is not just worthwhile, but enjoyable and putting it out to people who are first-time listeners.
Yeah.
And again, we go back to people that have the ability and they've never known they've had the ability or how to use it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool to see those like quiet moments or the excited moments beyond the actual episode itself. That's been really neat. And to, make plans for connecting at later dates and to create relationships with people that otherwise you wouldn't have had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
So big things to come with season 2. What are some of the pieces that we should be maybe getting excited for?
Well, we started this season with a hope and a prayer, basically. And it evolved. We had some expectations. I know the one that I drove you crazy with was I always wanted a round table from the get-go. We wanted to bring in different guests that had that were using different modalities, and some that are not necessarily conventional.
Yes.
So that's where we took season 1. For season 2, we are going to take a break, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're going to regroup.
Yes.
And the think tank will be opened, and you and I will dive into it. We have a lot of ideas, but until we sort them out, I think we would like to keep the podcast going, number one.
Yes.
We would like to find other guests. I mean, it was nice that we were able to be almost every other episode we had a new guest in. And that was exciting too, because it just wasn't, you and I sitting around chit-chatting all the time.
It taught us a lot.
It did so. And I think that sort of thing I would like to try to develop a little more. I would like to try to do, and I know this will drive you crazy, but another round table.
Yes.
And
the logistics drive me crazy, but the actual episode is
worthwhile.
So worth it. It's so worth it.
Because that episode was well over an hour and 10 or 20 minutes, and you had to do all the hard editing on that. So that's something that I'm looking forward to season 2. Different modalities this time around as well. And I don't know, do we want to expand it beyond what our first intention was, 25, 30 minutes. Yeah. So these are things we need to talk about. These are things we have to work on. And I don't think we have a time frame as to when people can expect our second season to hit the airways. But I know with your very talented marketing and advertising and media sharing that people will see it out there.
Yes. We will definitely, there is going to be some heads up, so to speak, in advance of season 2, but it will be coming in a few months. We will take a nice little break, and we'll align with last year's start as well. But there's so much to explore. I know we had chatted about wanting to delve into witchcraft and numerology and psychometry and rituals and objects and energies and so much more, but also really tapping into deep conversations. We had that chance where kind of halfway through the season, we started to have the ability to have more hard-hitting conversations and learn more about people's personal stories too. Yes. And their personal experiences. And that's just been so incredible. So incredible. So we are really excited to see what is going to come in season 2. It's already brewing, like we mentioned. I'm a bit of a brain mapper, so we're already, and you are too, lots of notes already going into it. Yeah, I've sat down, I've made notes. We're ready to go with, I guess, a framework. When we do sit down, and I have to go and rejuvenate my body for the next few months in the sun. Yeah. So the timing is absolutely perfect. Yeah. And who knows, maybe we add more episodes, or maybe we stretch the episodes out as far as releasing and get them more, maybe every 3 weeks, or depending on the numbers. Yeah, or maybe there's some readings involved or something like that. That would be, and there's another thing, as you mentioned, and I forgot about it. That's terrible, is that I have made a list of things that you and I need to talk about that we could possibly put together. Maybe something live on air, a reading or something like that. Yeah. So that's interesting as well. Yeah. Yes, very much so. Well, as we close out the season, we both wanted to take a moment to say thank you, truly, The podcast that started as a chance to connect and interview people of different modalities and practicing then started to morph into conversations between 2, 3, 4, 5 people who've lived intuitive lives for short periods of time, long periods of time. And it kept continuing to grow into something much bigger because of the openness, curiosity, and overall trust of everyone who really listened along the way.
Yeah, and season 1 reminded us that there isn't just one way to connect with spirit. It can come through sound, symbols, ritual, ancestry, touch, or simply paying attention to what's already been showing up in your life. Every guest brought a different lens, and each conversation deepened our respect for the many paths that led to understanding.
And remember, season 2 is going to explore new territory, and it will continue to ask better questions and hold space for honest, grounded, spiritual conversations and relationships.
Thank you for being here, everyone, and for listening with an open mind, and for trusting your own experiences as much as the ones shared on this show. And until next season, stay open, stay curious, and trust what you feel.